Hello, dear friends. This is Jeannie from Dollhouse Rescue. Welcome back to my workshop. Tonight, we are going to continue our series on some of the basic things you can do to make your dollhouses look a little bit better. It's not uncommon if you get a metal dollhouse, a vintage one. Remember, they could be 50, 60, 70, 80 years old. For them to be some dents or dings or bends in them that cause them to not look as nice as you'd like them to look. Or maybe they're not even as stable as you'd like them to be. I have several things that I do to straighten these dollhouses out. There's at least 3 methods I use, and I'm going to show you briefly all 3 of those tonight. Here's our first example. Now this particular wall, it's like bent up here. It should be bent down. It should be at right angles. And there's a dent right in here and a dent right in here. And it's also kind of warped along here. So the first thing I might try to do is, can I just use my thumbs and fingers and hands to straighten that out a little bit? This often works pretty well, and it might be all you need. Let's just give it a try. We're just going to grab it, use our thumbs, and push and try to get it back into shape. Same way with this little part down here. Now, if it's really hard to do, we'll go to plan B. But let's just see what we can do with our thumbs and our fingers and our hands. Like I said, a lot of times you really don't need any other tools than that. That's coming along pretty well. It doesn't look too bad at all. Could be a little straighter. Well, let's try our next step. If I can't get the result I want with my hands, my fingers, my thumbs, I use a little pair of like blunt nose pliers. I've got 2 pairs here. One's a little smaller than the other. I use them both. I also have a needle nose pair that I don't use quite as often. But tonight we're going to use these, maybe the smaller one. Both of these I have covered up this part with masking tape so that those lines, if there's lines on there, or just to protect the metal, to keep that from scratching or making a mark on my dollhouse. Now this one, they did not have lines on there, but I still put that masking tape on there to keep those pliers from scratching my dollhouse. In these examples tonight, my dollhouses are in pieces, but they often don't have to be in pieces in order to straighten these out. A lot of times you can actually do them while they're still put together. We'll see if we can demonstrate that too. All right, number 1, there's a little bend up in here that should be straight across. I'm just going to grab that with my little blunt nose pliers and put that the way it should be. Now the idea is to try to put these back into the original shape that they were when they were new. So if that was supposed to be flat across there, I'm going to try to make it flat across there, and that is getting pretty good. And if you have it that way, your house will be much easier to put together and it'll be much more stable. There's a couple of spots down here again that are also kind of warped. Let me just grab it with my little pliers and straighten that out. This metal bends fairly easy, so it's not very difficult to do, and you can make a big difference in your dollhouses by doing this. That looks a lot better. I could probably spend a little more time on it, but I think you get the idea. All right, the third method, if you're not able to use your hands, or if it's somewhere where you can't get your pliers, I've got a third method that I use often. Okay, I call this Jeannie's patented method of straightening out a metal dollhouse. This particular house, this is the floor of one, and this one has got quite a ding right here. Let me turn it around and show you. It's got a ding right there where it is bent that way, and I want to push that back, and I don't think my thumb is going to do it. I use a piece of hardwood floor. I've got several pieces here. These are leftover from when we put hardwood floor in our living room, and I like to put that underneath for stability, and also that makes a nice straight surface so that when I pound it down, it's going to pound it nice and straight. Now, if you don't have hardwood floor, you could use maybe a hard book, or maybe like a little piece of 2x4 or another small piece of wood, something that's kind of hard. And I'm going to put it right here under my dent. And then I'm going to just pound that with a hammer. And this is a hard metal hammer. It looks like metal, but it's hard rubber. Now, if you don't have a hard rubber hammer, then you can use a regular hammer and like put a sock over it. You just don't want to use like metal against metal when you're straightening out your dollhouse. So I have positioned my hardwood floor right there under that dent that I want to push that down that way. And I'm going to start pounding with my hammer. Now, I prefer to hammer along the edge. In this particular case, that dent is out in the middle. So I'm going to hammer out here in the middle a little bit to get that pushed back down. Normally, I'll try to confine my hammering to the edge, but not on this particular piece. I start hammering gently, and I hammer harder and harder and harder until I get that where I want it. That literally took me just 6 pounds to get that back into shape, and that's back in the original shape. The rest of this floor is in good shape. Let's try another one. All right, this floor I've had a little while, and when I got it, this whole part was curved up, severely bent. I've already hammered it down some, but I think because it's kind of a shallow dish right in here, and then kind of up there, kind of sticking up right along there, I think it could use a little more hammering. So that's why I think it's a good example for this. I'm going to put my hardwood floor under that part. In this case, I'm going to try to get it right down there under that corner that needs hammered on. Let me turn it around so you can see what it looks like from the back. I'm going to try to put it right in that area where it needs to be hammered on. And then I'm going to lay it down back on my table and see if we can get that down just a little bit closer to the original shape. That ridge there looks much better. I think I'm going to turn it the other way and hammer it the other way like this. I'm going to try to hammer in this area with my hardwood floor underneath it like this. And see if I can get that just a little bit smoother on that particular corner. That is a lot better, and I think that's all I'm going to do for that one. That looks really good. I'm going to have to do some painting there, but I think it's as straight as it's going to get. Okay, I've got one or two more samples I want to show you. It's somewhat common that these roofs might have a little ding in them like that. And if they do, it can be kind of an eyesore. It makes your house look rickety, even though otherwise this house is in pretty good shape. But I'd like to get that dent straightened out. And that is going to be easy to do. It's just going to take probably a few pounds. Because I want it to go this way, I think I'm going to hammer on this side, because I want to hammer that bump down. Put my hardwood floor up there so you can see how far distorted it is. See how far off it is? So I'm going to hammer right here with my hardwood floor underneath of it. Seriously, that took me 6 pounds, and look at it's just almost perfectly straight. I might do it just a little bit more, but it's so much better than it was, and it took me literally 1 minute to do that. Because roof bends and damage are common, I've got another example. Look again, this has got that very same kind of bend in it. So I'm going to turn it over and hit it the very same way. Right there, look, this one needs cleaned yet or painted up. I haven't done a darn thing with it. But right along here, we're going to pound it and see if we can get that straight. Wow. Again, that took just less than a minute to fix. Now, there's still a little ding up here. Honestly, a few things like that don't bother me. Remember, these houses are 50, 60, 70 years old. They're not going to be mint. They've got a tale to tell. They are survivors. We're rescuing them and making them as good as we can. Now, the ones I've just showed you, those houses were shipped to me in pieces. I asked to have them taken apart and shipped flat in a smaller box to save on shipping. But you can do the same process even if your house is already put together, and I have done it many times. Now, this house is not in bad shape, but let's pretend it is, and I'll show you how you would do it with it put together. You would, let's say we had quite a serious dip along here. There is a little tiny dip, not anything I'd probably worry about, but let's say it was serious. You would put your hardwood floor up here, hold it in place, and just continue to pound just like I just showed you until you get it where you want it. You can also do it here on the floor. If this floor was bent, you could hold it up there and hit right along there on the edge and get it straightened out. I've also done it on side walls. When these walls are, if they're bent or concave or not right, put your hardwood here on the side like this and hammer it, even though it's assembled, until you get it back into shape. So those are the basics of how you get your houses back into shape. Pretty easy to do, almost free if you got a hammer and maybe a pair of pliers, and can make such a difference in your house. I hope that this has been useful for you. If you have any questions, please let me know, or any other examples you'd like to see, let me know. In the meantime, remember, you've always got a friend here in Iowa, a lot of friends in our Facebook groups, and I am so glad that you joined me. Thank you very much, and please subscribe. It means so much to me. Thank you.